How do you feel about your room as a whole? It seems like you've got a lot of depth and balance and different skills there.
We do. We've got a lot of numbers in the room, so it's kind of fun to be able to mix and match every day. Who's going to get the opportunities and trying to be able to maximize different situations. We're working a lot of situational football right now, whether it's red zone or backed up or third down. So really good opportunity for corners to learn specifically. Our techniques change a lot based on those situations. So the way Coach Lee's structured practice, our guys are growing and developing, and they're being put in game situations now that a lot of times in a lot of places we may not be working that yet. So our guys are thinking, they're processing at the same time that we're building like techniques and fundamentals. But I love the depth, and it also creates competition, which every day it's another guy stepping up, and so that's going to do nothing but elevate the floor of the room.
I feel like B.J. Anderson looks completely different from last year. I know you weren't here last year, but what do you think he's doing well right now?
We have a lot of confidence in B.J. and he's got a great opportunity to step up and lead for us. Extremely athletic, great ball skills, confidence. I've been impressed with his physicality. But to be honest with you, we've got a lot of room to grow as a unit, and that includes BJ. BJ has a ton of talent, and really the sky's the limit for a guy like BJ. But he needs to come out and press every day and understand that he's not even close to he's just scratching the surface of where I see that he's going to be as a player as we get through the season.
What has Lucian added, as a veteran guy?
Lucian adds a calming presence for me a little bit. He's played a lot of football. He really is the most experienced guy in terms of playing time in the room. So he comes in, he understands how fall camp works, he understands different coverages, different techniques. We're tweaking some things that he's done in the past, but he just has such a level of maturity in the meeting room, and our young guys can lean on him for how to do things, how to eat, how to take care of my body, how to prepare for a practice. He does a good job with staying positive as well too. There's young guys out there, and sometimes our young guys are going to learn by trial by fire out there when you're a freshman corner. It just is. We have some really talented receivers, so Jeremy does a good job for me, even when he's not in, making sure that the young guys are dialed in and getting better, maximizing their reps.
How do you feel about Tyson Russell's camp?
Tyson, you know what? Tyson's having a great camp, and I would say that's due to the work that he put in the offseason. Tyson's a guy that was constantly in my office all offseason, wanting to meet, wanting to improve. He was just in my office the other day, hey, coach, how can I continue to get better, even though he's had some success. So his humility and his work ethic in the offseason is really starting to show up in practice and production, which is what you want to see. Physically, he's changed his body as well. And so he's just doing a really good job of just taking it one day at a time. Taking the plays that come to him and just being really detailed in his technique. I mean, he's a technician. He understands the importance of fundamentals and timing and how one step or just my eye control can be the difference between me making or missing a play at corner. Really impressed with him. Long ways to go as well. Long ways to go. I love where he's at, but to be honest with you, again, I see these guys for what they're becoming, not what they are, and he's got a lot of improvement to still do.
Are you looking at, on the outside of primary rotation of 4 guys? Would you go to 6? Or?
That'll be dictated just on how the guys continue to improve. I really think this next week of practice, these next couple weeks prior to game 1, there's still a lot of competition, and there's still a lot of guys battling it out for the reps, and so we'll see how that shakes out. And then special teams play such a big role in that too. To me, corners with speed and toughness and physicality and understanding how to get off blocks, we should have a ton of corners on special teams. They got to earn that, but sometimes that determines kind of traveling and playing time and reps as well. That's also a factor. But the guys that are ready and game ready and that can prove that and earn that the next couple weeks, I've got no issue rotating guys. Fresh players are the best players. So,
having added a lot of speed in the secondary and the recruiting class, how do you think that kind of upgrades the defense as a whole?
Yeah, I would say Barton Simmons and our recruiting department did a phenomenal job with the entire recruiting class. Specifically, the DBs are really impressive, and I would say we took some guys with some really solid traits in terms of length, speed, fluidity, and that's easy to see. You can come to practice and see those physical traits. The things that those guys are going through and learning right now is the mental game and the grind, and every time they see something, it's the first time, right? Whereas a Lucian or a BJ, it may be the 100th time they've seen it. So those guys are mentally developing and growing. It definitely is fun to have just some awesome pieces of clay to be able to form and shape and mold. And again, those guys have so much work to do, but they do remind me of a lot of guys I've coached in the past that have had really high ceilings. They're also extremely tough mentally, and so those guys are battling and competing, and they continue to do that and gain confidence. I'm really excited about the future of the young guys. Good to go?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.